No, not best girl. Come on, crazy waifu. Don't die on me now. Please. Please pull through, Toga. What's up? It's Truth Hero, and welcome back from our Golden Week break of rest, relaxation, and still going to work without any new manga, to another My Hero Academia chapter review. Today, we'll be discussing Boku no Hero Academia chapter 227 of the manga. Now, if you were trying to level up, this is your chapter. We'll be seeing everything from Shigaraki's advancement in his quirk to the possibility that Twice is also advancing in his quirk and combining it with Shigaraki's. And the slim chance that Dabi actually knows this mysterious Ice Quirk user's identity. Let's dive in. But before we jump into any of that, let's talk about Best Girl Toga being awfully close to death. We see Himiko Toga in the aftermath of her battle with Chitose. She's losing blood, she can't move, and death is rapidly upon her. She comments on this, ironically saying, "So this is how it feels." She's feeling what all of her victims in the past have felt when they bled out and eventually died. And this raises two interesting points for Toga. One, is Toga going to die? The Liberation Army says that this is a very tragic story about conforming and that Toga ultimately couldn't conform to society. Does this mean this is the end of Best Girl Himiko? No. As interesting as this might be with Toga dying and Chitose dying and the League of Villains and the Liberation Army each losing a member, and the fact that it would be a very tragic story about a girl not conforming, I don't think Horikoshi's going to go this route. He just revealed what her quirk is truly capable of, and I, for one, I'm sure you guys agree, want to see more of this. Number two is that while Toga's having this ironic moment of self-reflection and she's feeling what her victims have felt, she might feel regret and even remorse, and it raises the possibility that in the future, Himiko Toga could be redeemed. Now, I don't think she could become a productive member of society, but perhaps she could sacrifice herself and make her life meaningful for a noble cause. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Could Best Girl Himiko actually leave the crazy and do something right for a change? Then we have Redestro commenting on Curious, Chitose, and the soldiers of the Liberation Army that died in their efforts trying to obtain footage to construct this narrative on Himiko Toga to show the truth. He's crying while saying this line, "Humans are such noble beings." Those are fake tears, sir. In one moment he's crying, and then in the next he's wiping away tears, joyously exclaiming, "You can't move the hearts of the people without putting yours into it." Now, he might be sincere in his words, but I love how he views the expendable nature of people like Chitose and the Liberation Army soldiers as noble. It really shows that he's not going to shed many tears for these people. He's willing to sacrifice anything. He won't pull any punches. He only has one goal. That of liberation. Also, I love this hilarious part with Garan. It shows that he still has a sense of humor even without his fingers. Before we move on to Shigaraki, there's one more person that I want to highlight, and that is the Liberation Army campaign manager, Hanabata. Now, I'm not sure who he'll end up fighting, but it will be interesting to see more of him since Mr. Compress and Twice actually comment on him that he's uniting people like it's a religion. In this scene, Twice says, "Oh, so religion is profitable." This actually goes back to the first chapter in this arc, when Twice talked about religion while the League of Villains was killing that old bigoted cult. Maybe Twice will end up fighting Hanabata as his battle and what I think backstory will eventually unfold. Okay, absolute last thing before we move on. Did you guys notice? Who's pulling off Twice's mask? And the fact that his mask is coming off. Keep this in mind for future chapters and as we talk about Shigaraki. Just when you thought we knew Shigaraki's past and his backstory, Horikoshi gives us more. He's getting sleepy and has these hallucinations or even visions. This could be very interesting as Deku has always communicated with the vestiges and learned from them, but maybe Shigaraki can do the same thing on the other side. He can learn from his past and maybe the origins of his mutated quirk. We dive deeper into Shigaraki's past and his family life and see that he had a sister named Hana-chan who will always be cheering little Tenko on. It appears that before his quirk came and manifested and messed things up, he truly had a warm, affectionate, and loving family. He even had good emotions towards his grandmother Shimura Nana, who he never even met. And this to me is just more evidence that All For One had a huge meddling hand in Shigaraki's quirk mutating and causing him to go down this road of villainy. It's clear that the big boss just targeted Shimura Nana's family and said, "I'm going to take Tenko and make him into the greatest villain to oppose the symbol of peace. Tragic past or no tragic past, Shigaraki done leveled up. His quirk is insane now. He can now disintegrate or decay people without even touching them, or touching one person and having people in a surrounding area also decay. Now, I have two theories about this. One, it's probably not the case since these people weren't actually touching each other or necessarily touching each other, but it could be like electricity, where if Shigaraki touches person A, that person is connected to person B, they'll also conduct his quirk and also decay. But what I think it really is Shigaraki can release a wave that decays things around him. Similar to how Overhaul can touch just part of the ground and the wave will travel through it, disintegrating it or repairing it. Shigaraki can now touch one person and allow the wave to propagate through all the people next to them, decaying them as well. We'll touch more on this in a bit when we talk about Twice, but for now, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What is the true nature of Shigaraki's decay? It's obvious now that Horikoshi is upgrading each member of the League of Villains and their quirks, or at least the major members. We had Toga initially unlocking the true potential of her quirk, now Shigaraki, and the end of this chapter is actually setting up the fight with Dabi versus this mysterious Ice Quirk user, so I'm willing to bet that his flames have definitely gotten hotter. The last theory about Shigaraki's quirk that I want to mention is actually related to Twice. We see Twice's mask being removed, and it raises the question, what if Shigaraki touched a clone of Twice and disintegrated it, and that's how this wave of decay spread through the crowd of soldiers of the Liberation Army. As we see, Twice's mask was clearly coming off, so it's possible that he split up and cloned himself on a massive scale, allowing Shigaraki to touch one of his clones and the decay to propagate through the rest of the clones and the crowd of soldiers. Could have happened, just a theory, but the only reason I mention it is because the guy who had his face wiped by Shigaraki, and in fact the only person that Shigaraki touched while crumbling all these soldiers, actually looks like Twice without his mask on. Now, I doubt that Shigaraki would kill Twice just to kill a bunch of soldiers of the Liberation Army, but he'd have no problem just popping a clone if it's going to do that much damage. Regardless if this was a combo move between Twice and Shigaraki, or if Shigaraki's quirk is just that powerful, one thing's clear. Shigaraki, GOAT. As for the next battle, it's between Dabi and this mysterious Ice Quirk user. We'll just call them Snowjacket since we know nothing about them, but this is great. It's another high-ranking member of the Liberation Army versus a prominent member of the League of Villains in Dabi. It seems now that Dabi has chosen to fully follow Shigaraki. If you remember, he was kind of holding out and remaining aloof. While the League of Villains were fighting Gigantomachia and doing all these things, he was out doing his own. But after seeing Shigaraki throw himself into the midst of battle, Dabi isn't holding back anymore, and we can be sure that his loyalty does not have to be questioned. If the Toga formula follows with Dabi's fight, which is that every time a League of Villains member fights a high-ranking member of the Liberation Army, some of their backstory gets flushed out, we could potentially see Dabi and how he got his power and his quirk, and the possibility that he may know this Ice Quirk user Snowjacket. Now, this is just a theory, and it's one that is reaching at that, so feel free to flame me in the comments, because you guys never hesitate to anyway. But if we're assuming that Dabi is in fact Shoto's brother Toyosatomimi, and that this battle between Dabi and Snowjacket will flesh out his backstory, I raise one question. Why an Ice Quirk? Sure, it looks cool, ice versus fire, that makes Shoto a great character, but why is his identity masked in this ski jacket? Perhaps Dabi is fighting someone he knows, and fighting his backstory at the same time. We know that Shoto is not the one in this snow jacket since he's not going to work for the Liberation Army, and it's not his father Endeavor. What if Dabi is actually fighting his mom Rei, or his brother Natsuo who has an Ice Quirk, or even his sister? Now, I'm not saying that one of the Todoroki family members is working for the Liberation Army, but Natsuo does not like Endeavor, and if he was going to do something against heroes and spite his father, he might join a group like this. So what if Dabi is actually fighting his brother with an Ice Quirk? Okay, criticize me in the comments below. Or leave your thoughts on this theory. I'm excited for these future chapters and battles. We got a one-on-one between Toga and Chitose, and now we have one between Dabi and Snowjacket. I'm sure we'll get one between Twice and maybe the campaign manager, which will flesh out their backstories, and of course the best for last, Shigaraki vs Redestro once Gigantomachia awakes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What will happen in this battle between Dabi and Snowjacket? And what is Shigaraki's true power? As well as, do you think it's possible that Dabi will fight someone he knows real soon? Let me know down below. As always, thanks for watching, fam. If you like My Hero Academia theories and these manga reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by clicking the subscribe button down below. And until next time, plus ultra.